Compost, Combating UNL'S Food Waste by Sydney, Emily, Sophia, and Ahmed. We are creating large amounts of food waste. The average person wastes 40% of their food. At UNL, approximately 5,000 students eat at the dining facilities regularly. During the spring 2018 semester at UNL, 882,340 meal transactions were completed. That requires a lot of food to be produced. Of that food produced, approximately 22 million pounds of food is wasted from dining halls. Currently, all of that food waste at UNL is put into landfills. Why aren't we composting this food waste to get another use from it? Composting is a way to accelerate microbial decomposition of organic matter. Materials are shredded and kept in bins to decompose. Compost needs four main components: carbon, protein, oxygen, and moisture. Carbon is in brown matter, like dead leaves and grasses. Protein comes from nitrogen-containing green matter, such as food waste and fresh grass clippings. Oxygen comes from turning the compost to expose it to air. Moisture is needed by the microbes and can be added in small amounts that will not eliminate the incorporated oxygen. Aside from food and vegetable waste, most grains and paper napkins can be composted. Any other natural products such as tea bags, eggshells, coffee filters, and peanut shells can be composted. Meat and dairy are not well suited for composting. Decomposers, microbial inoculants, and fertilizers can be added for faster decomposition. This process results in a fertile mix that can be added to gardens, fields, yards, or flower beds to increase plant health.
Food waste and composting relates to the UN Sustainability Goal of responsible consumption and production. By 2030, the goal encourages the reduction of waste through prevention, reduction, and recycling, to have the global food waste per capita at the retail and consumer levels. We are producing food waste by composting it to use it as a source of energy for plants as well as other uses. By composting, we would be reducing waste sent to landfills and reducing emissions of greenhouse gases. By using the compost we produced, we would be reducing the need for fertilizer, pesticides, and water while promoting higher yields of crops. Fertilizer and pesticides contaminate our water sources, so it would be beneficial to our health to cut back the use. Composted soil relates nutrients and improves the soil. Composted fertilizers are renewable, biodegradable, and sustainable. Composting can help reduce the amount of waste in landfills, reduce methane emissions that are causing global warming, and enable us to have clean drinking water.
When organic matter is sent to landfills, it is packed tightly alongside plastics. In this state, it takes a very long time to decompose, and while it sits there, it is releasing methane. This greenhouse gas adds to air pollution and accelerates climate change. The land in this area can become very infertile and unusable, causing potential resources to be wasted. Rainfall can carry chemicals and other harmful products from the landfill to nearby fields, forests, or bodies of water. This results in water and soil pollution. This can make it unsafe for humans, animals, and plants to drink the water, leading to a loss of biodiversity and a threat to human health. Landfills make areas unsightly and can lower the value of a neighborhood, which can result in higher rates of poverty in the area. Composting, on the other hand, is time efficient and increases soil fertility, which increases plant health, which increases human health. Growers can raise the yield of their crops and in turn their revenue. Composting supports biodiversity and reduces pollution, which adds beauty and longevity to an area.
Many factors go into composting. The first main cost would be constructing a composting facility and purchasing equipment. Long-term costs would include movement of the food waste and the compost, depending on the location of the facility and employees. Landfills are often located far from universities. Therefore, there is a large cost to transport food waste to a landfill, and there are tipping fees involved. A composting site could be created near campus to help reduce transportation costs. There is also an opportunity to make a revenue off of composting by selling the compost. Another opportunity is using some of the compost ourselves as a university to remove the cost of buying fertilizer.
Students would have to be willing to partake in the initiative. They would possibly be asked to dispose of their food waste into a bin marked compost. Administration would have to be on board and funding would have to be set aside for the project. Dining hall staff would have to be willing to partake in this to have successful composting. The staff would possibly be asked to sort through items on plates and place food into a compost bin. Campus leaders, staff, and students would need to be educated on the importance of composting to ensure that everyone is willing to make it happen. The size of the demand for compost in the area will influence how effective the plan would be.
Sustainability has started to play a larger role at UNL. The Office of Sustainability is working hard to make our campus a sustainable one and working closely with students to accomplish that. We can see sustainable efforts all around us on campus, including recycling bins, bike share, stickers on lights reminding us to turn them off, and more sustainable energy facilities. It is obvious of the importance of sustainability to UNL, because UNL's efforts have led it to receive a silver rating on the STARS report.
To begin with, UNL needs to educate students, staff, and directors, and all stakeholders of the importance of composting food waste from dining halls. UNL then needs to apply and set aside funding for the project in order to plan the composting site. While attaining this goal, they also need to get involvement and interest from the stakeholders. For step 2, UNL needs to figure out the logistics of the composting site. This would entail constructing the site, hiring employees, and creating composting areas in dining facilities. For step 3, UNL would implement the use of composting in dining halls, transport the food waste to a composting site, and then use the compost or sell it. The final step would be for UNL's composting to reach equilibrium. There would be as much profit or use to equal the cost of running the plant.
The stakeholders included in bringing more sustainable food systems with composting to universities include students, faculty, and staff primarily. They are the first that experience the change and help implement it. The local community plays a big part because they can help initiate and promote good environmental projects. Another big stakeholder are donors. They help fund projects, and they should be well informed of any major changes made to the university. Partners such as Pepsi are another stakeholder. They're the ones that should be well informed about any changes made because they can help contribute to the food industry at the university. In order for composting and sustainable food systems to become implemented, we need commitment and consent from the stakeholders. Once that is done, we can then perform the needed duties, which will need to be consistent in order to see and make a difference in the community. Active funding needs to be persistent to have this be possible, but in the end, it will make a big difference for the well-being of all people and the environment. 2 universities that have shown good environmental efforts are Stanford and Green Mountain College. Stanford has been down 29% in landfill waste as of 2017, and they have earned a STARS Platinum ranking. Stanford Dining partnered with 2 dorms to pilot sustainable food-themed education in the dorms as part of their residential education and the community focus at the university. Stanford Dining also led research across multiple universities on the impact of posters on the amount of food students take. Green Mountain College in Vermont has a sustainable food systems project that is dedicated to closing the loop of the local food system. The educational result is that students understand that the choices they make, even about a morning omelet, affect the farmers, people, and the environment around them. Pros of these good environmental projects are that you can have a good star in ASHA rating, meaning that they are credible in the movements they are making on campus. Doing these strategies makes the environment better by reducing waste and carbon emissions. Some cons to these environmental efforts are that they can be very costly. It takes a lot of time and requires efforts from the community. We ethically and morally choose to do the best interest for the majority of the people and the environment in general. We believe that creating composting will do the environment and UNL good. We identify with the utilitarian approach because we identify as one with all beings on earth, and we want to create the most good in the environment. We want all sentient beings to be happy, and if there is harm created, we want it to be very minimal.
One thing UNL can do to help students adjust to composting is provide bins for categories of waste disposal in dining halls. Students should be informed on how to dispose of their waste. These bins should be only for food composting, and the group should be around that can help students distinguish between food that can be composted and food that cannot. We also recommend that UNL creates and operates their own composting site. More research would need to be done to determine what type of site will work best for UNL's needs. We also recommend that the site be created on East Campus near the agriculture fields. We suggest that UNL uses its compost to fertilize agriculture fields and then sell the rest to other users. The site should be run by employees of the university and include student involvement through clubs, volunteers, and possible paid positions.
The major takeaway is that food waste in dining halls is a problem at UNL, and we need to implement change. Composting is a good solution to this problem. It will help UNL become more sustainable and in the long run save UNL money. Thank you.